Good day, folks. Welcome to Week 3, Managerial Accounting, Summer 2020. We're now at the end of this week. We'll be at the halfway point. What should you be doing this week? Well, the first thing is review the comments that I made on Project 1. Some of you nailed it, others of you struggled. Overall, you should look carefully at what you write and say, does it make sense? First comment. Management accounting is about management and helping management make decisions. So the management accounting terminology needs to speak the language of the business. So what is the business talking about? That's the terminology you need to work. You can't come in and talk to a business person about something they don't deal with every day. It's got to be meaningful and relevant. And that means using the same terminology. Read what the company talks about. What are they talking about in press releases, investor presentations, 10K? What is the company saying? Okay, read what the company talks about. I'm re-emphasizing this. I'm not asking you to come up with anything different to translate it into something you think might be easier. It's what the company needs to look at. Read what you say, and I'm repeating myself. Connect the pieces. Look for some clues, if you will. I suggest you read out loud your responses to see, do they make sense? Can we work on the grammar, make it clearer? Next thing, without understanding the drivers, the unit of measurements, and rate drivers that rate the volume driver, you're going to struggle going forward. If you look at what we did in week 2, that is only meaningful within the context of understanding the volume and rate drivers. Okay, so that becomes important as you move forward. Let me give you a couple of examples. Here is I provided you with the source of information. You may have to put pieces together, but if you go to page 3 of the report that I put there, you can clearly see here's the volume, 241 million hectoliters. Okay, well, that's a volume right there. That's what they talk about. So you need to talk about that. Sometimes you need to look for clues. Here on the AutoZone, they start talking about same-store sales. Maybe that's a clue. And you got to work your way to the end of the document, because here is sales per average store, sales per average square foot. So if we're looking at sales per average store, they tell us what it is, and we know the number of stores, we can figure out the rate volume. So it's all there. You just need to take some time and look. The way I do assessment is I need to assess whether you're learning. Me doing multiple choice and seeing what you can memorize doesn't tell me whether you understand it. It just tells me you know how to take a test. And if I have a multiple choice and there's 4 choices, you should always be able to eliminate 2. So you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. But that doesn't help me assess whether you've learned the material. So these are important things to do. Quiz 2. Quiz 2, I am making a few changes. Quiz 2. It's available on Wednesday, July 15th from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59. This is 2 days later than originally scheduled. Okay, I think that based on what I saw in the test and the project, it would be worthwhile for you to go back and really look at Module 1 and 2. Look at Module 2 within the context of Heineken. Okay, really start to pull some of that through. Same thing with AutoZone. Once you finish, once you start, you must finish. You get one chance to do it. Plenty of time. It's worth, again, 15 points and 15% of your grade. So we'll almost be at the halfway point on grading 2 at the end of this week. I estimate, again, it should take you around 90 minutes, 90, 120 at the most, but I've given you more time to take your time. This is not memorization, as I said. This is about thinking, connecting the dots and the pieces. Read out loud what you write before submitting it. Does it make sense? A few things on the quiz I wrote, I said I have no clue what you'd be saying. Check your answers. Did you answer the question? Did it ask for an example? Do you have an example in? Is it of sufficient depth based on the points? If it's a 3-point question and you write one sentence, no, that did not fully answer the question. What it was asking for examples and then to explain. Well, let me give you an approach to answering an essay question. The first thing is make a claim or thesis, whatever you want to call it. Then provide text-based evidence to prove or support your claim. Give an example. This is the examples. 3 is always good. Okay? And I'm going to change the test, make sure I put 3 in there to remind you. Then the last step is explain how the text-based evidence supports the claim. So when you're doing the quiz, review your response within the context of this. Module 3. I want you to review and understand Module 1 and 2 prior to moving on to Module 3, cash flow. So I'm going to delay posting cash flow until Wednesday. You really need, as a group, to understand the basic concepts before we move on to the next piece. So I thought it was important to slow down just a day or two. Current events presentation, you need to find a partner. Let me know who that is. I'm then going to provide an article and directions to you. You work on it and let me know when you're ready. Then we schedule a time for a discussion presentation. And then I let the class know the time because you need to participate in one other presentation on a lifetime basis. So far, we only have 4 people, 2 teams, that have an article and are working. We need everyone to have a team and an article this week so that we can record them the following week, week 4 and 5. This is important so we can start to see some of the real issues that are happening around management accounting and also what's going on in the business world, which impacts you and your career. If you have questions, you need to let me know. If you don't understand something, again, let me know. We can talk about it. If you would prefer to take the test on Monday, just shoot me an email and I'll make it available to you. With that, stay safe, stay focused, and we'll talk to you next week.